to carry on from the last video, I actually now remember why I wasn't paying too much attention to what was going on with my sister with that old woman ghost. And it was because I was being attacked by a different set of ghosts. Not attached to the house, but attached to the ceramic dolls my great grandma had given me. So my great grandma loved to collect these really old ceramic porcelain dolls. The ones that have like the soft cloth body, like stuffed cloth body, but the limbs and the head was like porcelain ceramic. Those are the dolls that she loved to collect. And so she gave me one. She gave me a total of two. The third one I got from my cousin who didn't want hers anymore. And so I had one that was like pale and had ringlets, and she was a pretty doll. I had tried to put glow-in-the-dark beads in her hair so that I could keep track of her at night, and they didn't work. But like I didn't know that. So the first night when the lights went out and I checked and it was not glowing where she was supposed to be sitting, I freaked out. But then I later was like, oh, okay, it's just the beats. The beats aren't working. But yeah, each of those dolls, like especially ceramic dolls, they're just empty shells. So sometimes that can attract spirits to inhabit those types of dolls. And each time I got one, I had to break it in. I had to basically banish the spirit that was in there. And usually it was like a series of dreams where the spirit that was in there would come to my dreams and like attack me, and then I had to like vanish it by like physically breaking the doll in my dream and shattering it, and that would essentially either banish the spirit or teach it not to mess with me. So, and at that time I was third, fourth grade. So I was a little bit busy, and I couldn't really deal with what my sister was going through because I was a little bit busy dealing with the ghosts and the dolls and the insomnia, because I had really bad insomnia. Like my parents would send me to bed and I would just stare up at the ceiling, not going to sleep because all night long, because I was just not tired. So yeah, that's what I was dealing with. And then those dolls my mom had after she moved away. And so when I finally reconnected with her decades later, and she's like, I have your dolls. And I'm like, I don't want them. Please give them away. I am not breaking in new dolls, new spirits. And they're not new dolls, but they probably have new spirits. And I really don't have... I have a kid now. I don't need to be dealing with that. No, thank you. Please donate them. And my great grandma had already passed away, so I don't know what happened to all her dolls. My second sister said that she had walked into her doll room, because she had a doll room and she had dolls all lining the whole walls and in the living room too, and in the den, and she had dolls everywhere in her house. But so she had walked into the room that she was supposed to be staying in for the night, which was just wall-to-wall dolls. And she said she walked in and they all turned their heads to look at her, and she was like, oh, hell no. She went to go sleep in the den. But like, so I remember that's why I wasn't really too concerned with my sister. I was busy with my own spirits that were attacking me. I wasn't getting physical marks on my body. It was just all in my dreams. But yeah, so that was that. And I thought I don't really need any setup for that, because those weren't like people spirits, if that makes sense. They were just, I don't know how to describe it. They are spirits, but in an essence, they don't even remember that they were people, if that makes sense. So it's not like you can really call those spirits to you because they don't know what plane of existence they're even on. So it can't. I mean, I guess you could call them closer to entities, but they were at one point either really like negative emotions released into the ethers and then combined into a single entity, but it definitely from human, maybe some animal, but mostly from human, but they're not the same as human ghost spirits, if that makes sense. There are levels. There's things that just are, and it's difficult to explain. But yeah. So I don't need all the hibbles because it's not a conscious spirit that can be called, if that makes sense. So yeah. So okay, that ends this ghost story session. But yeah, if you ever get a ceramic porcelain doll from a thrift store, antique shop, or as a gift, I would recommend if there's a spirit attached, if it's negative, banishing the spirit. If it's not, just leave it be and then just be respectful to it. But like, if it is negative, banish the spirit and then bind the doll so that it cannot, like, basically just close it off so that nothing can settle in there. So that makes sense. All right. That's just my piece of advice on that. Okay, bye.